Welcome, everybody, back to my Ace Attorney gameplay. My name is Brotimus. Last time, we did something. We definitely did something. We're in the last trial still. We might finish today? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure about that, so don't hold me to that. Fun fact, he's in fighting game Capcom vs. Marvel. Yeah, no, he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, wasn't he? Don't forget the evidence. What evidence? What evidence do you speak of? Did Doppel? I didn't see it. I'll drink one now. Thank you, Doppel. I don't remember if I drank or not. For those of you watching on YouTube, you missed a 40-minute discussion on why I don't like the deconstruction of superhero genres down to being edgy and dark and grim. The bad evidence that gone. Oh, that's right. That's right. Because I can end the game right there. Right. Right. Beaten by the courthouse. You think? So yeah, if you're confused, YouTube, why we're talking about superheroes, it's because we were talking about that for 40 minutes before I started recording. I used to... Okay, so hang on. Favorite villains are Loki and Venom. That's fair. Once upon a time, my favorite superhero was Agent Venom, because he was such a badass. Ironically, talking about how I don't like superhero things to be grim, dark, and bloody, and one of my favorite superheroes was Agent Venom once upon a time. But then he turned into like Space Knight Venom, and it got fucking weird. Okay, Gant will ask for evidence twice, but if you save after showing it the first time, your entire playthrough will be fucked. Oh, I see. Okay. So I should save prior to that, before he asks for evidence. Okay. Oh boy, that's scary. Oh, that's scary. Anyway, we were talking to this lady. Angel. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant made the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best.
And they solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they?
Damon Gaunt's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? He fucks, Phoenix. He fucks hard. I need to pull this up, hang on. There we go. By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... defeating the all over again? Oh, honestly, if I fucked it up, that'd be it. Like, I would not finish the game. Like, it would just be over at that point. Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. I'm gonna leave that one alone. No one dared confront him, though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. To save your game off? Okay. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her.
Really? Ah!
Don't present the first time, but do present the second time. Okay. I'm so confused. Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. They hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake.
Mr. Marshall.
When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating.
Miss Star.
That's why. I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Being used? That phone camera canonically fucks. There's someone who's into the mean. I'm gonna stop right there. Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gaunt's powerful influence.
Chief.
That's right. Having solved the Sl9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? Always into kills. That's why she transferred? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was laughing at at gilfs. You are what we call a G-MILFs. That is a grammar I like to look. What was it? Squizgar. That's one of the weirdest like running jokes in Metalocalypse, is that Squizgar is into into G-MILFs. I can only beg for 10. If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
But how could he control Lana?
I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. You listen to me, Rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. No, it's... What am I doing here? Okay, so we talked this. I was gonna say Scar. We talked to Star. Detention center? Hi. Nope. I already talked to you. Don't. What am I doing here? Guess I'm done with. Love to hear it, boy. I haven't done jack shit today. I took my wife to work. I had breakfast. I started the dishes. I think they're done. Oh, you're back. You're still here? MILFs. Now grandparents. I mean, yeah, that's yep. I'm gonna make 150 copies of these files. The cat's surrounded by knives. I love that meme so much. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. DJ?
You're a DJ as well?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Good, because I thought he was gonna say dick jockey. Anyway. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. That'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the Sl9 Incident. Oh, that's right, we gotta go look at the crime scene where fucking hot brother Marshall got killed. I have to take a look in there. I don't know, that was a weird way to say that.
There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind.
I present to you Day34's pick for Gumshoe. I don't even simp that hard for Gumshoe. Will Powers, on the other hand. Anyway. What's the curled up piece of paper? Also, I auditioned for a thing this week. And they asked for like a clip from a past stream. And I was going through some of my clips just to like find one that was like fairly representative of me as a streamer. And I came across the homoerotic fan fiction between Mekamaru and Hajime that I just fucking improv'd. And then also I was talking about Mekamaru's sweet metallic cheeks, and I was like, Danganronpa 2 is a wild time. I forgot about those entirely. I went back and I was like, oh man, I'm funny sometimes. Fuck. I submitted us talking about Mekamaru's sweet metallic cheeks though, because I thought that was funny. I was like, maybe they'll get a kick out of this. Fuck, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say what I auditioned for because I don't even know what's gonna happen, honestly. But it'd be rad if it did. Be really rad if it did. Oh, that was the joke, Doppel, is that they made more of a clanging sound. Anyway.
No way, Mr. Edward can't be serious.
Is he ever not serious?
I can't believe they pushed him this far. Dramatic.
Mr. Edward really feels responsible.
When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too.
He was cold as ice.
But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to prove him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him.
Detective?
That's it. I've made up my mind.
But
Here, take my ID card.
You can't do that. If someone found out...
they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report.
Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be terminated.
What?
So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake.
Alright, detective. Thank you. Gumdrew's ID tucked swiftly into pocket. He really does. I yield, eh? Like, damn. Imagine they also clean out their smart. I mean, yeah, no. He wouldn't be able to sneak anywhere. Though those bright yellow eyes definitely wouldn't have done anything for him either.
Here goes, Mr. Wright.
Here it should be here it goes, but sure. Sure. Sure, right. Oh yeah, pop the neck.
We're in!
Hacker voice.
We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner.
Should bring the curse and I gotta bring back the comfy hot chocolate corner.
If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out.
It's the hydraulic press. God, he's like, nope, I'm gonna stop there. Oh boy, that would have been TOS for sure. Ooh, nope.
Sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
I didn't even know you could slap a ghost.
I almost said clap a ghost. My mind is somewhere else. Ah, Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that?
I wasn't sneaking. I was worried something might go wrong. So I came too.
If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? Gumshoe ID is crushed and rendered unusable in pocket.
I don't think I'm a coward.
I'm sorry?
I hardly ever get a chance to come in here. So I figured I'd have a look around myself.
White chocolate with taffy pudding bits. I haven't. Ooh. I remember you mentioned that pan. It still sounds yummy.
Besides, we're all in this together now. We're all in this together. And we see that we're all in this together.
You really do want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out.
I've got a bad feeling about this. Chewie, I've got a bad feeling about this. Okay, let's just hang out. Boba hot cocoa. You know, it might not be too bad, actually. If you did that a certain way, it'd be interesting. Peach tea? Rad. Hell yeah. I just got water. But my water is in a really fucking bitchin' Mandalorian cup. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. That desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's?
Yes, and that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago.
Is anyone using it now?
No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gaunt's office now.
Isn't it awesome? Got the mythosaur skull on it and everything. Like I said, we're watching Mandalorian, so. I finally tried boba the other day. I don't taste anything. Boba's weird. I'm gonna be honest. There's like a certain texture thing where I'm like, like when you suck a boba up and it's like it bursts in your mouth. It just pops into your mouth. It's just like, ugh. But the texture's my problem. Like I'm not a fan.
He practiced a strict policy of preserving the crime scene.
That's a strange reason to leave it there.
He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time.
I see.
So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk?
No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning.
Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Why? Why would there be unpoppable bobas? Yeah, because that's what I want. I want to have the sensation of sucking down pills when I'm drinking my drink. Like sucking down medications. Like I want to suck down rocks.
Can I ask you something?
Sure. I'm the one that initiated this conversation, but sure, bud, go ahead.
You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the Sl9 crime scenes? I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it?
Why do you ask?
You don't think? Nah, you wouldn't be. No. No, there's no way. Never mind, don't worry about it.
Okay. Now then, let's look around a bit more.
Hey, hold on, not so fast, buddy.
Huh? What is it?
When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that.
Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you?
You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you?
What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do you think? What do we think of him?
Let me enter my mind palace for a second here. There are the tapioca. Yeah. There's a chewy, and then the little juice pop, and the juice bursts out. I know about the bursting ones, but the chewy, that just sounds. Ugh. It's like drinking milk, and then you come across a hard bit in the milk when there shouldn't be a hard bit in the milk. Like a part of the milk is frozen. I'm not speaking from experience. It's the drink called the Halo mix. Mix has taro drink, tapioca and jello bits, sweeten you. Whoa, interesting. Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings. Yet. It was a CG. I went to a friend's house, and they kept, like, their fridge was, like, super, super cold. So, like, part of their milk froze. And I remember drinking the milk, and came across a bit of frozen milk. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. There shouldn't be a hard bit in my milk.
There you go, ignoring me again.
Alright, cool. So, time to hack. I didn't want to do this.
I run to the job,
Okay.
and they're going to take blood traces too.
Wow, is that a new type? I've never seen that bottle before. And 3 inches to your base height.
Base height? Hey, let me see that. Looming tall, new and improved growth formula. Head partly frozen. Oh, I'm sorry, Doppel.
You mean this can't take any blood traces?
Well, it's not quite the same thing as luminol.
Ice cubes. Why? I'm also a freak. I don't get ice when I go to like restaurants and like get a drink. I don't put ice in it. It's cold enough. The machine makes it cold enough. You don't need ice. Daughter, how are you now? How are you doing on this fine Saturday?
So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face.
Mother. Fucker. Okay. Well, I guess let's start looking here. Cold water. Yeah, but why? It's cold enough. It comes out of the fridge. It's cold enough. You don't need ice. Ice water. Doppel, what? I hate. Well, okay, when I'm drinking a sody pop, there's 2 things I hate. 1, if it's flat. 2, if it's watered down. Freeze grapes instead of water. What? Or just you know, if you have a fridge, just drink it out of the fridge. It's cold enough. I mean, that's fair, Doppel. I'm not gonna bash you for what you enjoy. I mean, I know some people who like to leave their soda out for like a day and then drink it later because they love it super flat apparently. And I was like, you're a fucking freak. I just never heard of that. Freezing grapes. Is it because like the skin doesn't like flavor the water or the beverage that you consume? I do like a lot of salt. I do love me some salt, Doppel. Oh yeah, no. Like honestly, I have to stop myself sometimes when I'm like going out and like just I don't like a lot of straight salt, but I you know, I'll take a little finger like suck on some salt a little bit. My wife always complains because I put way too much salt on anything that I eat. I'm like, what? It's good. It's good for you. Salt helps you retain water. It helps you stay hydrated. And she's like, that's too much salt. I'm like, it's not enough salt. She also doesn't like pepper, anything. God, it's sodium. Oh, Doppel, don't do that. Oh, those are not meant for consumption. Those are treated specifically to melt ice. So, you know, that Vord, that is fair. It does give you the high blood pressures, but it's so good. It's so good. Also, Harry now, Vord. I don't like pepper. God, why not? It's so good. For the longest time, I always got confused when people are like, it's worth it. People were like, oh yeah, white people don't season their food. And I was like, oh man, I only put salt and pepper in my food. Am I a white person? The answer is yes. But like then I found out that they're like, no, like salt and pepper is fine. We're talking about people who like just have like straight like chicken or straight beef. Like they don't put anything on it, salt, like including salt and pepper. And I was like, oh good. I meet the bare minimums of seasoning my food. Because I love me some salt and pepper. Man. You put some salt and pepper. You have a little lemon pepper. Throw that shit in there. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Lemon pepper is so good. Garlic salt is also amazing. There's also Lowry salt, which is like a seasoning salt. Amazing. So good. I love Lowry salt. When I was a kid, we would get, like, it was a treat if, like, we made fries or, like, chips or something. Because my grandpa used to be able to make homemade chips. And we would season them with a Lowry seasoning salt. And I would put so much Lowry salt on my fries. That shit is so good. I love Lowry seasoning salt. Not sponsored, by the way, but Lowry. If you want to get into influencer marketing. Used to make barbecue garlic salt. Garlic salt is amazing. Onion, you throw some onion powder in like a chili. Szechuan peppercorn. Interesting. No, I haven't. That sounds good though. I'm not a huge fan of Szechuan. I'm gonna be honest. Not a huge fan. I tried it when the whole Rick and Morty thing came out a couple years back, like the dipping sauce at the old Mickey D's. But wasn't my biggest thing. I'm kind of the same with like sriracha. Sriracha's not my jam. But like straight red pepper, like dried red peppers, or like I love spicy things. Fuck. I love spicy. But like I just like the flavor profile of like Szechuan and sriracha. Not for me. Grandma can cook for shit. My grandma didn't cook often, but she was a pretty good cook. My grandfather did most of the cooking. My family unit was my mom and my brother, my grandmother and my grandfather, following my parents' divorce. My grandfather did most of the cooking, and he was great. He was such a good cook. He has this one recipe for Swedish meatballs that you use in the slow cooker, and oh my god, it's so good. Like I have not ever made that. I have not made it for fear that it will not be as good as my grandfather's. Unfortunately, my grandfather died, gosh, in 2015, I think, and my grandmother passed away early last year. So like, I have recipes, I have family recipes, but like, they're just never as good as when they made it. I don't like sriracha and such either. It's not a good flavor profile. Habanero is a great flavor though, because it's kind of fruity, but it's spicy as shit. It's so good. Heading up for lunch, probably back in the street, man. So, all right, CG, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. See you later if you manage to make it make it back. Thanks, Naps. It's yeah, it was rough. My grandmother died in February last year, like right before like all the COVID stuff happened. She'd been battling like lung cancer, and it like spread to like her brain and stomach and like spine and everything. It was awful. But there's a part of me that's grateful that she didn't have to deal with all the COVID shit that happened. I'm still super upset about it, don't get me wrong, but I'm glad she didn't deal with all that bullshit. Anyway, sad time's over. We're investigating a murder. Today's stream is the Food Opinions Corner. It really is. Superheroes and food. That's today. This is a safe, isn't it?
Safe. My word is ripe with intrigue.
Sure, bud. Okay, if you say so.
It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it.
A 7-digit... 7 digits? A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is. It can't be. Can it?
Do you know what it is?
I have a hunch.
Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date? It's...
I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Okay. 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 Bingo. The password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it? Really? Anyone uses on his luggage.
What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was that, pal?
7777777. The final ID card number on that record.
What?
The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day.
You mean 77? Oh boy, too many sevens. 7777? That ID number?
That's not enough sevens. I think you're 1 7 shy this time. It's gonna mean one thing. That's Chief Gaunt's ID number.
Say. Anyone care to look inside?
Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away?
Look, it's a hand!
It's just a massive horse dildo. Oh, okay.
Shard from a broken cup.
It somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before?
There's something else in here, too.
What's this? What's this? There's handprints stuck inside. What's this? I'm bad at this. Looks like a piece of leather cloth. Leather cloth.
This is a handprint, isn't it?
Hey, I thought I'd been wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design?
I don't think so.
Oh. Well, it was just a thought.
Is that it? This is all that was in the safe?
Great day, my job here is ready. Yeah, it's done. That's fair, Doppel. Just stop by. Have a good one. Take care of yourself. Apparently so. It's empty now.
Piece of cloth with a handprint on it, and a broken shard from a cup.
Look like pieces of evidence.
Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with the case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here.
Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the Sl9 Incident? Well, he really is, honestly, the definition of a himbo. He's big, he's dumb, he's a good man. Kind. There you go. He is a himbo. Gumshoe meets all the criteria.
Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective.
Sure. I mean, there's this jar. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar?
I remember when the three of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days.
That was yesterday. It's kind of early to be nostalgic.
Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case?
That's right. One of the shards had an Sl9 Incident sticker on it.
Doesn't this ring any bells? Do you know that fragment we just found?
You mean this one? That was in the safe?
Yes, that one. That was in the safe.
The eyebrows get me. Just as...
They mention it. It's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits.
Assemble fragments. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Out of this.
Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue.
If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. There. It fits like a charm. Like a glove. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. Ah! In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the Sl9 incident.
But
Hey, guys, get a load of this.
What is it?
This piece you just attached.
Sassy Baka gun. Saga continues. Oh, it's very... Yeah, it was like, here's the piece. Hit triangle. Done. That's a very successful short that I put up, by the way, for Sassy Baka Gant.
It's different from the others.
there's a reddish line on it.
A reddish line. That's blood.
I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe?
Final fragment found in Chief Gant's safe. Final fragment found. Wow, they really wanted to throw that alliteration in there, huh? Oh, I'm sorry I'm yawning so much. I'm sleepy. Okay, well, we already know that, how do I, okay, well, do we need to talk to you? Can I, like, fingerprint that thing? Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this.
I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints?
That's a great idea, Detective.
All right, go to town. Sheesh, sheesh, sheesh.
That's what the kids are saying nowadays, right? I don't know. I'm old.
What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints.
It's not your fingerprints we want to take.
Huh?
Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe.
Oh! I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh! Where's your sense of humor?
Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Then once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away.
What are you, my mom? I'm gonna be told 1,000,000 times. Alright, let's get this over with. What are you, my mom? I mean, this one looks like a good print. Alright. Alright, let's just put the white stuff all over it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right, daughter. It really is. I mean, I guess you don't need to be the smartest. You don't have to be the sharpest bulb in the shed to really become a detective, huh? At least not in the Phoenix Wright universe. Yes, oh, really? You didn't like fingerprint dusting? Man, some of y'all might be too young for this, but I remember like the spy toys that they used to have, that they advertised on TV and stuff, and like one of them was you could get like a fingerprint dusting set. I had some of those spy toys. Those things were fucking rad. Blow. A forensic class. Oh, rad. That's pretty dope. Alright, let's see here. Emma's. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here?
Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they?
Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints.
Psst. Hey, you. Over here. What's going on here? What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe?
Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now.
Here. Maybe you should hold on to this.
Piece of cloth folded and added to the court record. What? But what? Bears Emma Sky's prints. But what? I guess let's keep on examining. Slide to the left. Tulip's dreaming, but because of that, she's also farting, and it smells awful.
Just thinking on that day 2 years ago.
The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma.
After receiving his reward trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with the Chief Gant to get dark. I bet I never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later.
Well, that's kind of how that goes. Gee, you think? Okay.
The Chief's organ shows a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department.
It's on the 2nd floor. This is the 15th floor of an entirely different building.
When the detective screws up, the Chief calls him to his office and makes him listen to the organ for hours.
Tulip's love language is fart. It really is. Here's the thing. She sleeps and she farts. That's what she does. But it's always she's never like off somewhere else. She's like, I have a bed right over here for her. But of course she has to lay right here behind me. She's sleeping. She's a sleepy boomer.
What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul.
After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears.
So it's an instrument of punishment. Literally.
But aren't the Chief's ears affected?
He never listens to anyone anyway.
That's beside the point. That's beside the point. Okay. This was Lana's desk. Sure is tidy.
Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean.
Does Lana ever come back here?
No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of.
Is he keeping a memory of her, or a memory of the crime? These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf.
Hey! This is when Lana and I went to that theme park.
Okay, nothing there. Window.
Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside.
This is the 15th floor.
I know, I was just saying.
Saying what?
Ever since making a detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that.
Note this out. Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams.
As long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired.
Don't say that.
Let's see. I'm terrified of heights, so I cannot say I feel the same. Whoops. Desk.
Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk.
Speaking of that, when we were here earlier,
Oh, it's you two.
Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. Oh, that's right. I wonder what he was reading.
It looks like a list of evidence.
List of evidence?
In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though.
Hey, look at the case name.
Huh? Sl9 Incident? I wonder what this is doing here.
Hold on, detective. What did you just say?
I said, I wonder what.
No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long.
That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence.
A half-size list of evidence. The list of evidence, it seems short. Most lists run twice as long. would the other half of the list be doing here?
I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about that case.
It would appear so.
Evidence list.
Fuck!
Well, is that any help?
Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence.
Oh yeah, we got some
Hard evidence.
No, that's not very kind, is it?
I get this is Gant, right?
In other words, if it wasn't for this ID card, he would have been useless. Yep. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Chief Gant!
We didn't think you'd be back so soon.
Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog running right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave.
I tried spraying everything, and we didn't get the right fluid.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now get out. Yes, sir?
We'll be on our way too, then.
Wait, you're the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet.
No. I'm not leaving a 16-year-old girl with you, asshole.
Me, sir?
I'd like a word with you.
But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet.
You with the spiky hair. You're free to go.
Mr. Wright?
Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you?
I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired.
Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it.
Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time?
Anyway, you listening to me?
Yeah, that's a yikes from me.
I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal.
After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Alright.
I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning.
It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here.
But I've already told you all I can.
What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words.
Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth?
Once you're convinced you know something, no one could persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe.
Now it's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. Oh yeah, we're on the case now. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual.
What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person?
Protecting? No. I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name?
Take that! Well, Miss Skye?
Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective.
Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes?
His crimes?
Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence.
Of course, these are serious offenses.
Why is it, though, that Chief Gaunt's name was never mentioned?
Chief Gant?
Edward didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was...
Me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation.
Yes, you, but also one other. Damon Gaunt.
If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case.
I mean, it's either or, right? I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Okay, yeah, it was either or, I figured. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the Sl9 Incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him in Terabang?
Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder.
Why not?
Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate.
In the murder of Detective Goodman.
Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car.
Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman.
Correct.
I feel like there's a hair on my nose, and it's driving me absolutely batty.
I was trying to take the body out of Edward's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body.
The murder weapon? Or the murder weapon? You mean Edward's knife?
No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it.
The knife from the Sl9 Incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I hear that happens. It's driving me insane. Fuck.
I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife.
That would be Edgeworth's knife.
That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand.
And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand?
Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in.
Miss Starr, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly?
It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that, by whatever means possible.
So, you hid Dark's knife?
The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that.
So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edward's exhaust pipe. It's not the only thing I like to hide in Edward's exhaust pipe. Ayo!
Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler.
You asked Emma?
I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this.
That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence.
Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day.
A bad feeling?
The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall.
To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him?
The lead investigator for the Sl9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own.
Oh, you mean...
Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room.
Hopefully Gumshoe gets his job back. I'm sure he will. I have no idea.
After my phone call, any doubts he had must have disappeared.
So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. I can read. I can read. I do read good.
I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow.
Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. Demons, Sammy.
Gotta get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer.
And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. Why do the hot ones always have to die? Ooh. Oh, that was my elbow. Did you hear that? Yeah, save. Yeah. Of course. Oh, no. Oh, no, when it's a trial former, I know I'm in for a rough day. This is the defendant lobby, all right? But there's no defendant. Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good one. Felt good. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if...
Something's been happening behind the scenes.
No, Edgeworth, okay. I don't know who it was. Edgeworth! Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True. Not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth. Everything goes back to the Sl9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? Okay, the nail the real baddie. Does it happen often? This is it. This is my moment. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. Why am I yawning so much? Why? Make it stop! The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Chief Gant.
Yes, hello, I just apparated here. Morning, folks, how's everyone doing? Hey, G-Pen, back to the pool yet? I've been crowding enough in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that.
If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours?
Lana, that is to say, the defendant,
I fear.
has asked me if she could speak directly to the court.
She wants to do what?
Having heard what she has to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble.
What do you got to say? What's this all about, defendant?
I'd like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished.
Captain, what's the request?
Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial.
Huh?
I confess to all charges against me. On February 21 of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana! You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana! But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please.
Excuse me, I'm adjusting. Because I can't sit in a chair like a normal human being for too long.
Well, the defense certainly has to put this up for presentation. Her request is legally valid, although it is unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no further need to continue this trial. Even if Mr. Wright may be forever back.
This can't be happening.
It is now the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant
G-U-I-L-T-Y. One moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Edward.
The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature.
Oh, come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, hmm?
Oh, Gant got the finger waggle. I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant.
What?
Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. Oh, shit! Get fucked, Gant!
Edward MVP?
With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes.
Some kind of deal, hmm? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy.
I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness.
Oh,
As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony.
Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue.
I don't care what you think, Miss Skye.
oh shit! Edgeworth is fucking bringing out all the stops, hell yeah!
The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic that truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it.
Very well. The court will grant the prosecution's request. Let's begin with you, right, Chief Gant?
Worthy? You'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Mark my words, Worthy. Hey there, Kermit the Frog here.
Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand.
Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator.
My job is Lana's little sister. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer, Dark Joe is what I almost said. That sounds like, that's the bad name. Joe Dark and the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct?
Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time.
Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Was all 2 years ago really all that relevant?
Yes, it most certainly is.
Okay then.
He should give in fast. That's the judge. The judge has no fucking spine. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago.
The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial.
Two years ago.
I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Dun, 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 dun.
It's a good thing you were harmed.
I passed out. I don't remember much.
That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodwin's murder?
That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence.
Very well. The defense will be at cross-examination.
What's up, daughter? Alright. She's a child, Phoenix. You don't have to yell at her. We have Jake's autopsy. We do, I believe. Or, Neil's autopsy, yeah. Stabbed in the back. Oh! Okay. 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 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct?
Yes, she was second in command of the deputy chief of police, Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever.
Yes, I remember. The Count and Miss Sky usually quite the pair.
I believe they share the same office.
That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ.
He had it in there before? That's a little rude.
I wanted to play that day too.
The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day.
Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work.
Man came running in, took me hostage. I'm pretty sure I know what I need to object to, but let's just go through it. A man?
Yes, Joe Dark. He was a
Man.
serial killer.
Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest.
But we saw his chance. He fled the room, right?
Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran to the Sky and Gant's office.
There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look.
He does look like a serial, doesn't he? Like, that's the thing. That's the thing. When you write anything with a serial killer in it, you can write it however you want. You can make them look like a serial killer. Yep. He's got gray eyes that never seem to go past a scowl. He has pointed angular features. And yeah. That's as far as I got there.
Opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me.
I'm gonna skip through it all. I don't have time for this. I ain't no I got time for that. Fear. I fear. Even though I'm pretty sure this is what's gonna do. Thanks for the hydrate, daughter. Thank you. Okay, so it's not. I need to press more on that one. I mean, it does actually, but sure. Let's press that. That must have been a real shock.
Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly.
Tell us, what were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that Joe Dark was holding you hostage.
When lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark, and was thrown aside, I was thrown aside, and the two began wrestling each other. I'm pretty sure I was watching them. Emma doesn't have any reason to lie, but Lana sure does.
I need to get Emma to tell me as much about this as she can. Alright, fine. I'll press them all. Even though that directly contradicts what that is. I need to do it at the exact right time, apparently. Tulip's farting again. What was the prosecutor doing there? Oh, jeez. Serial thing. I remember that part of the anime comics by Neil Gaiman. There's a place at a cereal convention that was covered serial killers. Cheesy Pete's. Neil Gaiman saw that and just ran with it, apparently, huh? What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during Dark's questioning.
Deputy Chief Damon Gant, and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Marshall. I've only ever read one thing by Neil Gaiman. I read Good Omens a few years back. Before the what was it, Amazon? HBO? Before the show came out. Netflix? I don't remember. I still need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. I really like Good Omens. It's a great book. And even then, it's not completely Neil Gaiman. That's Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. It's a great book, by the way. You should read Neil Gaiman, Good Omens, if you want to. If you want to get into it a bit more. Almost forgot about Gaunt. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony.
I assume that was why he was the first one after dark.
It's on Prime and it's really good. He's a solid author all around. I've heard he's really good. I tried reading Neverwhere once upon a time, and I don't know. I have a hard time reading in general. Like, I can't just sit at home and read, because I'm like, I could be playing a video game. I could be doing something than just reading. So, like, I'd have a hard time reading at home. But, the little bit of Neverwhere I read was really good. Gaunt straight up had to do it to him, posing that photo. He really does, honestly. So, why isn't my, like, Streamlabs chat isn't working now? Wild. Alright.
I assume that was why he was the first one after dark.
When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead.
And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. Alright, I'm turning that chat off because apparently the Streamlabs chat isn't working anymore. Never got a comic adaptation. Did it really? I didn't know that. I mean, like, we have the book. Like, I could just read it. I just don't take the time to, because I'm illiterate.
I don't clearly remember what happened then, but can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out.
The lights?
It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby.
So the electricity went out.
But what? If it was pitch dark at that point, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right?
Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind.
Oh, excuse me. I was not expecting that to happen. Fuck.
I see.
I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case.
Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. Hear more. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago.
Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial.
And you told Detective Goodman what you saw?
Are you okay, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
A picture? Yes, I think you mentioned that before.
Well, Mr. Wright, I'm not heard of.
Ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture.
Would you mind if we get this thing with yours tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I see. Oh, I didn't see what that said. I'm an idiot. I should have read that. You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right? Let's see. I drew a picture of I got lost. Got it.
Yes, I want to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now whenever I close my eyes.
That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died, and I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken?
But I did try it, I swear. I'm not just imagining it.
This picture that Emma drew, that reminds me. I guess I should check the evidence again. Well, anyway, let's continue. The scene that imprints an image in your mind. Can you please describe it to us?
The man...
Okay. Oh, hi! Hello! A picture is drawn on the back of the evidence list in magic marker. I've got a very bad feeling about this. I hadn't looked at this yet.
Okay. I've heard of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. So, do I present this one here? Music stopped. That's a good sign. Mr. Edgeworth, this little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence? How could you, you heartless bastard?
Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that, as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture.
That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Behold!
This is the evidence for the Sl9 Incident.
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over. Turn it. Ah! What's this?
Yes, what is that?
Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew.
Indeed. You manipulated wrestling here.
What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list?
Me?
Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list.
These lists, now, look different from each other.
What?
It would appear, Mr. Edward, evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists put together to form one. You can see the box here, where they were torn apart together there.
So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you.
What? What?
Oh, the border! But the sky! Why did you try to put the back of the part of the list?
I guess that's what this Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. She was 14 at the time, my dude. Wait a minute.
Is she being shocked? It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor.
Are you right, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. More so than usual.
If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Wouldn't Edgeworth have seen it? I feel like... I feel like... Okay.
Yes, the book of Mr. Edward.
Have you ever looked at the back of this piece of paper you have on your person?
It's possible. Let's see.
It's something wrong.
Do you even have to ask?
Sorry, Your Honor. I just had an aneurysm. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list.
You never flipped it over?
It's that thing.
You're telling me, hold on, you mean to tell me Miles Edgeworth, king of prosecutors of this year, never once turned the piece of paper over and questioned... Oh, man. Oh, man.
Thing. The thing that was dancing in the evidence room. The thing makes some sense. I see it in my sleep. I see it when I wake up in a cold sweat at night. It will leave. The blue matter! It returns!
Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives.
I guess he was out of scrap paper.
Evidence list restored and updated.
Just leak through. Absolutely. If it's done in magic marker, you would have absolutely, unless it's like that really thick paper that you can get, that like super, like that's not construction paper, but like that really nice thick like legal paper.
Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago?
Maybe. I mean, it would make sense. It would definitely make sense, Ayole. It is a law office, after all. Technically, kind of. Not really. Huh?
Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at that picture. Emma's picture.
This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Bum, 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 bum. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
Oh man, okay, it's a short testimony. Shit.
Do you think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind?
Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. It's clearly shows Joe Dark about the murder prosecuting Neil Marshall.
Does it? Does it clearly show Joe Dark murdering Neil Marshall? I don't think it does, though. I don't think it does, though.
The defense made a look at its cross-examination.
Cross-examination of this picture. Alright, picture I drew 2 years ago, right? Did you draw this picture right after the incident?
I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything.
Well, yeah, you were 14 and witnessed a murder. During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodwin was placed in charge, under the direct direction of Damon Gant and Lana Sky. 2 or 3 days later. The memory should still have been fresh in her mind.
Excuse me, what is... But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black?
The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows.
Poor girl. Fuck. Oh. So at the time, you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue?
No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright and I was knocked to the floor.
You were knocked to the floor.
Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed.
Poor Emma. I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. What happened after the lightning flashed? I must have fainted. Hang on! That sounds fake! You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place?
No, I'm sorry.
The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here.
Anyway, this picture.
Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw?
Of course, this is the exact scene.
It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives? The detectives? I can't speak. For some reason, the word detective is really hard for me to say, especially when you put it with other words, like the detective. Like, are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I'd better watch out or he might find some way to cut my salary.
I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me.
Mr. Butt, is there something that's bothering you about this picture?
Huh? Oh, well... That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. Do I do the stab in the chest now? Do I do the stabby stab now? Can I check this? I just use the brain cells. Yeah, really. Honestly, daughter. Why is it sideways? Anyway.
do I do this now? I'm gonna do this now and hope for the best. Music stopped. Rad. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday.
Mr. White, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of the picture contradicts the autopsy report?
Oh, shit. Oh, man, what? Well, he's stabbed in the back, not in the chest, but I don't want to, I don't want to click. Do I click his chest? Do I click the chest? Do I click the chesticles? Ah! I know this is supposed to be, like, real specific, so, like, the contradiction is that Emma says the dude was stabbed in the chest, but click the knife? I mean, like, that's the thing, like, maybe it's the knife? It's either the knife or the chest, right? Guess I'll try the knife. Trust you, Ayode. Okay, good. Thanks, Ayode. Thank you. I really wasn't sure. I was definitely leaning more towards chest, but I was like, it might be just click on the knife, because, like, the knife, like, where the knife is entering from doesn't make any sense for chest. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Thanks, Ayole. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see there's a broken tip.
I don't have to look closely to see that.
Oh, wait, what? What?
But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence.
Oh, wait, what? That's it? Wait, what? We're not talking about getting stabbed in the back? Wait, what? Wait, what? We're talking about the knife tip? We're talking about the tip? Uh-oh, I'm lost.
See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too.
If I recall.
That's not what I was thinking at all.
If I recall. Some of the knife was found broken off on the victim's body.
It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma.
And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem?
It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Oh. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, totally. I was just messing with you guys. I totally knew that's what he was going for. Yep.
Ah! Must have believed us.
Why did he scream? Why did he scream? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there.
What does this mean?
The judge is getting into this one. The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. Give the rock like, yeah, right. Sorry, and you know what? It's the whole thing. It's like, I don't know how you got the answer, but you got there. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. Correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, Wright. All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No.
Hold on. Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted?
Your Honor, I am. Please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in the story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. For the drama, probably. People are like, oh man, Wright and Edward are going at it again? There are people who probably like, can you sell tickets for this shit? There are people who are charging out the ass just for like binoculars and disposable cameras, just people to take pictures and document it.
There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being 2 broken knives?
Yee, Jimmy, how come your mom lets you have 2 broken knives? Jimmy, why? Stab, stab, stab. Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? Yeah? Yeah, there could have been. The sword that Gant had removed from the King of Prosecutors trophy, right? If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Wright? In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife.
I assume then. But do you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please refer to it like this.
The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon.
I think it's that. I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't think you can really stab someone with a piece of a jar. I really don't think you can stab someone with a piece of a jar.
A screwdriver?
It's not a broken knife, though. Is this one? I don't know. I guess we're gonna try, don't we? I have no idea if this is the right one or not. I truly don't know. Maybe the photo that shows it? Sure, the photo. Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I forgot that the sword was broken at the key there. Sure, maybe it was that right? Maybe it's that. We're gonna try it. I forgot this existed. The music is still going, but the health bar went away.
The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Okay, the music stopped. Okay, good. Oh, good. I really wasn't sure. Right here inside this picture. Thanks, Ayode.
This is a picture of the award ceremony.
Oh!
What is it, Mr. Atwood? It's the broken murder weapon.
Meatball. That's that voice. That voice is either Stitch or Meatball. Because if Stitch is more like, hi, but then it's more Meatball. You know what I'm saying? No, it's a very easy way to go between the two of them. Because they're basically the same voice, let's be honest here. Because you're just gonna put a spin on it, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get your neck back up in here. Anyway, I haven't watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I really wanted to watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force because it looked fucking funny. I just never did it. I haven't done it. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding.
That's a broken knife.
As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award.
Oh, hold up.
Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation.
But that can't be.
Oh? And why not, Mr. Edgeworth?
Because if the King of Prosecutors' award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed.
What do you mean? Well, yeah.
I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
Oh.
Oh!
But the prosecution was the only one who actually died.
That's true. What's going on here?
It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions.
Wait, I remember now. I remember everything.
What this?
Mr. Edgeworth,
What is it?
could you show me your evidence list again, please?
His list? You must command a weapon as listed by another one like that. The one with that picture screwed on the back.
I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it.
God, Tulip, stop! Stop! Fuck! She's awful.
What?
You drew that? You're slow.
That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony.
Give Tulip a better treatment. Oh, man. Be far. Well, she got it. She... Ugh, rotten animal. All right, let's, pop up here. Give her a treat real quick.
You're getting a treat.
Hang on, let's go over here. Have a go.
You're getting a treat, baby.
Sure. There we go. Open the bag. I can open the bag. Come on, bag. Open. Got it. Got it. The bag won't win this time. The bag won't win. You being a good girl. You being so patient. Sorry, I should hit the mic. Great time, baby. Hang on. Here you go. You're a dinosaur. T-Rex, you good girl. There you go. You can think I go there for what? Yes, you can. I'm not gonna take it away. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. You're a good baby girl. Yes, you are. You're a good girl. Ugh. Okay. She's gonna lay down there, report the gas machine. Oh, and then she's gonna lay down back there, and she's gonna consume. Okay. Tulip thanks you for the treat, Ayole. She likes the treats. All right.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recall, Miss Scar?
Yes, Your Honor.
First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. Emma's recollection.
When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them.
What? That's a lot to cut out.
I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
Horrible. That's horrifying.
It's scary.
That is certainly most unusual.
Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. I feel like that should have been past tense. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, this once we now begin his cross-examination.
Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further.
Lana?
What's the meaning of this? Please wait seated in the defendant's chair.
But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that?
Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back.
Silence. The defense will now begin his cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant.
It seemed we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Did Emma kill Neil? Is Emma a murder? When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark. I can't.
Yes, at least I think it was him.
You think?
All I could really see were shadows.
The power outage that immediately preceded the incident is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports.
So then you...
Panicked? Panic? Why would you do something so dangerous?
Well, what else can I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall.
She seems convinced that Jark, I can't speak, that Dark was the one holding the knife. But as we've just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I've got to help that other person.
I think I knocked... Whoops. Press. Jark. What do you mean you think?
It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur.
Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, the little disorientation is only natural.
I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife.
What you do is very brave, Uncle. So then what happened next?
A flash of lightning. Are you sure about this?
Of course, see? I even drew a picture of him here.
But it was the chief of detectives who thought about this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The Blue Badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable.
I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him somewhere before. Now I finally remember.
Oh, brother. Just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion.
Tell us, where in the world did you see her dancing?
That's weird. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all?
That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns.
This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think what... Huh? But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh? And I suppose you have an explanation? If so, then by all means, please show us what this shadow really was. What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this Blue Badger, really? I think I know? Like, this kind of has the right shape to it, maybe, and like the right angle, kind of a thing. You know, like something like that, maybe. I don't know. You know, if you really squint at it. I
I'm gonna go with it. I just might know. The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, am I right, Naps? Can I hit that shape? Kinda, like... It is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright?
In this room? Where, Mr. White? What is it that the witness saw on that instrument? Please show us this mysterious blue badger looking like.
The unstable jar. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. See, I'm smart sometimes. Sometimes I know what I'm doing. A lot of times I don't, but sometimes I'm smart.
What that's... what exactly is that?
I believe it's some sort of jar.
But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger.
Indeed, it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint?
Let's show them the correct angle to look at this from. Oh, man. Let's see. How accurate do I need to get with this thing? Is that good enough? This isn't right. I've got to make it look like the blue badger.
Allow me to remind the defense in case its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If I can't match the shape the witness drew, we can accept his claim.
Gotta find the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more, or horizontally.
Mr. Wright, you can do it.
Gotta show them. Correct angle to look at this. I mean, yeah, I'm trying, dude. Maybe... Oh, that's how you rotate it that way. Okay. I was really sure that it was supposed to be like this. That's really close. Like, is that not it, really? That's it. Oh my, how accurate does it need to be? Okay. Like, is it supposed to be, like, straight up at that point? What if I, like, push it back? Come on. Or, like, is it supposed to be just straight up? That doesn't look like it at all, though. I mean, it looks reminiscent of it, but that's not, like, that's not close.
You were close.
There it is. Jeez. Like, it's a little, I feel like it would have been better, this is my opinion, if you had like the face and then like had it be like maybe have a little bit of opacity, like have it be a little bit transparent, so you could line up the face to the image itself, rather than just guessing, be like, I mean, that's pretty close, and then be like, no, that's not it, it's not right. That was really, really finicky. I feel like if you had the vase over top of, like, or like have the face of the blue badger over the vase but transparent where you lined it up, that would have been better. But, you know, whatever. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger.
No. It can't be.
Order! That is what the performance claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this.
Although we all enjoy Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point?
What do you mean?
So that badger thing was actually just a jar. What? That doesn't change anything.
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything.
Indeed. Very well then. Please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar?
Okay, hang on. Okay, at the awards ceremony. This is still Gaunt's office. No, that would have been at the prosecutor's office. Why would it wouldn't be at the detective. It wouldn't be at the police department. Well, it's not the location, because Emma was in the room with. No, it wouldn't be the location. Dumb is me. The murder weapon? But he died. He does have blood on it, but like, even the court record says, you know, he died from a puncture, heart and lung. I guess it doesn't say that those were his only injuries. Well, it wouldn't be the murder weapon, would it? Because... because there's no way Joe Dark could have had that vase, right? There's also no way... I'm too stupid for this. I'm going with the murder weapon. Let's try it. Allow me to take these in turn. I'm too dumb to figure this out. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar.
At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright.
Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar?
Well,
location of the jar shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. Okay, so that is his office. I thought so, because that was the suit of armor there.
but the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself.
Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room in Chief Gaunt's office. It's the same room, guys.
Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gaunt's office to Lana Sky's office?
It's the same room! It's not that hard to conceive! Yes.
Why would he do that? There's no reason.
Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason.
You know what that reason was, right?
Finally figured it out. Have we? I don't know if we have. I don't know if we have, right? So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
That would have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit?
This is Robert, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword.
Yes, that's a spear, but sure. Wolverine-style hair. He kind of does, doesn't he, actually? And since the man who was knocked in the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy.
No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking...
Yes, there is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
Not a possibility.
Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless... I don't know if I can go through with this.
Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall...
Yeah. Yeah.
You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No!
Ooh. Yeah.
I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
What are you saying?
I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances...
Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out what happened to about what Emma did, wasn't it?
It's same naps. That's rough. Emma's... Oh, boy.
I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall?
Evidence?
I'm willing to bet you don't.
It certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead.
We certainly can't get dead people to testify.
It's all been a wild goose chase from the beginning.
Need some cheesecake for this. This is rough.
Touché, Miss Skye. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility.
You mean there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, in one manner or another.
That's impossible.
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
Think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have been left behind. I mean, it's got to be the handprint, right? This message from the deceased is already in our possession.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer?
I mean, it's manslaughter at worst, right?
Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek, the truth, no matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. White, please show us the proof of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
I mean, the thing is, what she did was manslaughter at that point. Like, it was accidental, yeah. But someone still died because of it. But it's not the cause. Is it? Not? Oh. This is the message from the deceased.
Right. Now done. This is the message from the judge.
Okay. Oh. I guess that wasn't right. If that person left behind a message, it would have been written in written form. That's the only logical conclusion.
Please be careful, might wind up deceased yourself. Let's try this again.
Okay.
Please use his advocate.
Okay. Okay. Man, that would have made sense, wouldn't it? No, whatever. Let's see. I mean, the one has a line on it, I guess? Could be I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, it could be self-defense. Dark red stains on the Sl9 Incident 2 years ago. Some lines remaining on it. Am I gonna have to play connect the dots? Am I gonna have to play connect the dots here? Let's try it. Fuck it. This is my starting to see.
Suspect. Do better than before, right?
Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name?
If nothing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar. You just connect the dots. Ugh.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar.
It looks like someone wiped the blood away.
Yes, but notice. For some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away.
Yes, there's a line here. Blood and blood!
So what you're saying is these dots were once lines? Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. The blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points. And the victim's message will become apparent. No.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us?
Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written given the circumstances. His murderer's name. Well. Okay. And this reveal, yeah. It's not great. Doesn't feel good. Is it gonna want me to? Okay, it's not. Like, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good at all. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. It feels bad, man. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. Ugh. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind.
Of all people, she may not have been meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life
Was Emma Skye. Feels real bad, man.
Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you.
Chief Gant.
Do you understand the implications of what you've done?
What? What are you talking about?
2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That is undeniable.
I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice.
What?
We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter.
Shit. Not defenders of justice. Man. Wow. Real commentary there. Holy shit.
Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence for or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
Fucking Muppet. He's just a malicious Muppet. I sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there as well?
Order! 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 Order!
The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be continued. Yes, I would like to say, please. Thank you. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Trial ladder. Ladder. Malicious Muppet sounds like a good name for something. I don't know what. Maybe a stripper name? Okay. 25th. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. The big evidence. The big evidence. All right. I'll have to have y'all warn me about it.
Well, I guess I am. I'll come back later.
Oh, wait, Detective Gumshoe. What is it?
You got a lot to do, pal, making a detective run around all around while on duty. And on top of it, you call me here. I was gonna happier people at funerals.
I take it Lana's having you run errands again?
Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, just need to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial.
What is... Hang on. I can't see past my dumb, fat face. Evidence law. Okay. Thank you. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day.
You must know the two rules of evidence law.
Oh, excuse me. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Law for dummies? I mean, yeah, more or less.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Seems so.
You can at least study some evidence law, really.
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message.
A message?
She said, if you're planning to take him on...
Lana should think things be out, right?
It's like, hey, how about you do your fucking job correctly?
You're going to need this book.
Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law. 2 rules of evidence law. Securely slipped into pocket.
That book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence.
That's where you're wrong, detective. Up, leg,
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Sir Edgeworth. The real trial today hasn't begun yet.
Oh no. Did you forge your lottery? Probably. At this point, I'd believe it.
What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Sky found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you tell me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal!
You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there.
What?
And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. Whatever it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Blip. Blip. Boing.
Court order looking for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth?
Hold, please. I need to read a book real quick. Rules for submitting evidence. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Okay.
Ah!
Mr. Edward.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know why I'm yawning so much today. I guess I'm just exhausted.
The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
The bow. Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well, not like this is more than prosecution costs for the witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there are some concern that you, Miss Edward, may have,
Struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? There's no positive what you're proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Miss Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
But it is, the defense will now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright,
Ma'am, me?
you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls the save button. Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
What does he have to do with anything?
As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. Crimes. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. And what? Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, eh?
Please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto. What's with the grim face?
First, let's clear up this Sl9 incident.
Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
There are still some things unaccounted for,
Oh, like what?
like the role you played in all of this.
Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
What? That seems like a flaw in the system. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
That seems really not right.
Very well. What is may now make his testimony?
The Sl9 incident. What do you got for me, shitheel?
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
The power outage didn't happen until after Joe Dark had left, though. So, fuck you.
My son Doc was arrested.
He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head.
bumped his head.
Please,
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. I'll prepare for the railing of a lifetime. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day.
Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark, made him run away like that.
Was the defendant, Lana Sky, also present in the room?
Yeah, right?
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it.
So the two of you ran immediately after him, right?
That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs, I guess you could say.
Oh my goodness. Tulip's running.
You got lucky.
What's this about a power outage?
Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got my, the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though.
That's not funny. That's not funny.
When I went to my office, I found Lana there.
Could you tell us what you saw?
It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together.
Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor.
Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls.
Lana and Emma.
Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done.
That picture shows a knife in his back. Like straight up, that's a knife in his back. Not the tip of a spear. How can you know that?
Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved.
So that means... you found the body near Lana's desk?
That's right. Oh,
Fuck me! Stop it!
I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor.
Yes.
Anyway,
So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office?
that's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances.
Is that how it really went down?
Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright.
I don't know, daughter.
If you're going to stare at anything, you better be staring at the court record.
Worthy, always the smooth talker.
Which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Okay, let's see here. I mean, this fucking thing was in your safe, my guy. Also, half of this list was in your desk. I'm inclined to say I would do, like, either the piece of cloth or the evidence list, because they both mentioned that they were in Gaunt's area. Oh yeah, and also the last piece of the pot was in the safe. Like, I really don't know. So, like, I'm inclined to say, like, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. And present either the cloth or the jar?
Oh,
Oh, sorry, I hit my mic. I don't know why I'm so tired. What the fuck that sound was? A jar. Cosmetic relevant yet? Okay, I'll go with the jar. Oh, the music stopped. You claim it had nothing to do with the forgery. I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up.
Explain yourself.
Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Hang on, I gotta check something. I heard some loud noises outside my window. Hang on. Oh, I have no idea what those sounds were. It's sandwiches. No idea what those sounds were. But they sounded like fireworks, gunshots, or a car backfiring. So it wasn't like, I was like, I better go check and see what's going on. Don't see anything though, so. Let us continue. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
Must have been pleasure you should have earlier.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
From where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
God, what's the meaning of this?
Oh! Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy.
So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery?
Who, me? Or do you mean you?
Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto?
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Mrs. Swab, in light of the detective's presence, please give us a testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and the relation to the forgery that took place at this crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together.
Evidence and forgery. What do you got?
Let's see, what was it now? A jar, fragment, and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. They were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Hey, don't lick yourself. You get too into it. You do.
Mr. White,
Yes, Your Honor?
when investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful of the protocol.
You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Oh.
Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Alright, Edgy. In return, though.
I know. That place, right?
Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Alright. Been planted in my office. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations.
Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that.
What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped.
Mr. White, what are you saying?
Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, we're going to need it later.
Later? What are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Raito's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal.
Makes anyone as slimy as this guy. What do you mean by that?
This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery...
I'm not through speaking yet, Raito. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered.
Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Tark was sentenced.
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient?
Right? The chief is talking about a possibility. So long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time.
Tell me something I don't know.
Come now, Raito! Think about it.
Is there no reason? How can you look me in the eye and say that? Just dancing around. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's a fucking corrupt police. What else do you expect at this point?
Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye.
Well, now do you see?
Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this.
Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would, of course, be the position you have. Chief of Police.
Oh?
The resolution of the Sl9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Oh, that's a good one.
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of Sl9 merely sped up the inevitable a little.
Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Be careful when pointing that finger, you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy, you know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Audrey, would you mind if I change my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
What?
We can save scum this bit.
Wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
Nothing in it for you.
Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy.
Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Chris has never heard of conflict of interest. I mean, really, it really has not. I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I imagine I should point out the accomplice, right? It's the only thing I can think of. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. What? But the players are positively want to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well then. Who is the person you believe Chief Gant may have What evidence?
The person you believe Chief Gant may have helped for evidence. Lana, at that point, that's why he was like,
I need you to get rid of Goodman for me.
like, I don't know. I really don't. I feel like it's Lana. Because, like, okay, it's not Meekins. It's not Meekins. It's not Gumshoe. It's not Emma. I don't think it's Angel. I don't think it's Jake. The only other person I can think of would be Goodman. But, like, why? What would we get out of that? But Lana, because she was going to be... Oh, yeah, because he would have control over the prosecutor's office at that point.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky, the defendant.
I got there. I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. If he helped Lana out, then that meant that he would have control of the prosecutor's office as well as the police department. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Good books. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the Sl9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. Like shows also. Yeah, it was really good. I haven't watched the second season yet, but the first season was really good.
But how would he profit from all of this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. She must be puppetess and someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Yeah, good work, Judge. Great, you're right. You're on it. You're on top of it, bud. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her.
Right, oh my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this?
Oh, hey, is this it?
That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid...
Without any proof. There's almost nothing more than mere conjecture.
Can I save here? I can save in save slot 3.
Unless... that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? What would that be?
Of course I'm talking about... the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial.
Oh, fuck.
Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Excuse me.
Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
What do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? Order! I said order! Mr. White, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? It's just impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language.
It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now.
Looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. White? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. Okay, go ahead and just go safe here so that I've been sure that I got a problem, so.
I see. All right then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
All right, y'all. Is this the bad place? Is this the bad place? No. Okay. I have no idea then. Gaunt will ask for the evidence. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like an indirect thing or not, boy. I wasn't sure if it was like, oh yeah, do you have the evidence? And then went the whole thing where the judge was like, do you have the evidence? Okay, so this is not it. Okay. Do the evidence that ties Chief Gaunt to the murder of Detective Goodman. He'll refer to a certain piece of evidence. Okay, okay. The murder of Detective Goodman? I have no idea. Would it be the sevens? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Ayole. Like, it might be the sevens. Just because it's like, that shows the 7, which is like the executive number? Oh, I don't know. We're gonna go with it though.
The card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. The music didn't stop though. Shit. There's one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777.
Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my ID. That's my card number.
It's your number. Oh, the music stopped.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gaunt's office requires a code to open. CG! Welcome back. The last 45 minutes about the stream. A 7-digit code.
7 digits. You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gaunt, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Oh, he angry.
Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations.
And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do at the evidence room.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gaunt, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? Mr. Aspen was from Lana Sky's guild.
No, it isn't, Your Honor.
This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. There was proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Oh shit, dude. I don't no. Ah, there we go. Half-written document dated 2/21. The day of the murder can only be submitted to the chief of police. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime.
Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
I don't know what happened with your voice there.
Edward, I don't know what that was.
So Detective Goodman filed a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police.
Yet you were in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it.
He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Oh,
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompany the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him.
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room.
Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next.
What are you, fucking Joseph Joestar now? Fuck, dude.
Alright, the chief of police murdered poor Goodman.
Exactly.
But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just left him with an ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I
didn't see what you said there.
Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
Oh, oh, that was scary. Oh man.
Chief Gant, you didn't.
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime for no one in their right mind. It would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. The victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so.
She gets Super Saiyan powers. Agreed. Agreed. I don't think he should have that sort of power. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was just a useless clue just taking up space.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. The parking stub? Like, that's about all I've got. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
A parking stub? Miles Edgeworth.
You mean...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Dramatic twist. You mean I carried the victim's body?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, buddy. Sorry to fucking let you know this way. Precisely so.
But wait, even you know, I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day.
But you did return. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartache.
I was asked to go, by Chief Gant, no less. It's a valid piece of evidence. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what Phoenix was like. I thought it was a picnic in space.
He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. And in the case on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here.
So, you see, what you were really taking to the prosecutor's office wasn't the screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk.
Detective Cole's body was carried in the trunk of Miles Edwards' car.
Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edward to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. Ah, gotcha. Oh, fair, okay. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Sky.
Order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal on the defense's outlaws evacuations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite.
It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that you can use those and then you get different responses. I mean, the outcome's still the same, but it's interesting that the responses are different.
Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe. Your time's up.
My time done.
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the district attorney general after this, or the DAG. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special.
Yeah, you are 65. I forgot you're you're fucking ancient, you fucking boomer. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet.
Remember what I told you earlier? The police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? What's not a right to be casually invoked? There's something just to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now.
Oh, there you fucking was. Don't you go anywhere, you ancient shit. Well,
You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon got at the court chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright,
Your Honor?
do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodwin and made Miss Sky dispose of his body.
Do I have any concrete proof? This isn't it, right? He's gonna say certain evidence, right? I'm good, right? Everything's fine, right? No, I'm scared. This was the loop? Okay. 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 Hands off the controller. So no. No proof yet. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. I saved before, so I can revert back to save 2 and we'll be fine. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. Okay, yeah, I already saved, so.
Yeah. See, Yoji?
In that case, this court will to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What?
Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. Seems that pity luck was on my side again today. Okay, Edgy, I'll leave the rest to you.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to the senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
What?
Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edwards, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial.
It's not gonna throw. I mean, fair.
We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
There's one different testimony?
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one who calling witnesses today.
Mr. Mudd, what sort of witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth... I guess Lana Sky, right? This is a painfully long case. It really is, boy. Like, fuck. I thought Gaunt was gonna be the end of it. Miss Sky?
Abandoned. Miss Lana Sky?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task? To dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Is it really? My wife said they just get longer, but this is like an 8-hour case. I know, I think it was you, CJ, that said like someone who knew what they were doing got it done in like 7 hours. I mean, it's not even an 8-hour case. I've been doing this for like 3 fucking streams. It's been like 10 hours.
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. Court is...
Hold on. Look, but here's the thing. I haven't streamed for like... I didn't stream for like 2 months. I'm counting just streams.
Oh,
Oh, you're back.
Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat.
Listen good, Lana.
He's talking to Lana. That can't be legal.
I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
This isn't good. That can't be legal.
Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway. Right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet.
Just proximity mic the whole time. Just you hear the organ get louder and quieter as it gets closer or farther away. That's like, yeah, that's blatant. That's just outright like what?
Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
That's just straight up illegal.
Looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
Hey, Chief. He's something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Ah, don't worry about it. I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
What? My office? Should I please sell a career? I mean, yeah, definitely seems that way.
Sure. I'll take the place that top metal girl used to work with.
Could he mean Maya?
Still, there's a grow little moves now. Chief Gunt's done it again. How is it? Oh, he always gets the upper hand.
It's not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify.
Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said.
Oh, Chief, that's not a right to be casually invoked. That's something else to be considered.
You know, that's fair, CG. Japan Ford is really weird. You know what? You ain't wrong. Risks? What did he mean by that?
It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Ah, hi, Emma. How you doing, knowing you killed a man? Sorry about that, by the way. Really took a turn for the worst there. Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all Just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
What do you mean?
Do you think I mean to follow Chief Gaunt's orders? She must have shut herself out deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything that Chief told her to do. I don't see why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Yeah! Blame the man! Fuck society! What are you saying, Gumshoe?
Chief got me to be able to fool everyone else with his forgery. But he can't fool my memory. I remember now, I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act.
Gumshoe, we live in a society.
We live in a...
I haven't seen the Joker. I don't want to see the Joker, I'm gonna be honest. Emma, why don't you wait here?
No, I'm going with you. I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. Oh my good hot damn!
Ba-ba.
It's literally the only quote I know for the Joker. It's the only quote I know from the Joker, too. That and, you get what you fucking deserve. Then he shoots the fucking talk show host. Spoilers. Getting close to the end. I know. I mean, like, every day we get closer and closer, but my goodness gracious. I was expecting to have to do the same trial for 12 hours.
Well, boy, there's one to bust on a sky. Please take the stand.
Could you imagine? Remember when I used to only stream for like 2 hours? Could you imagine how long this would have gone on had if I only streamed for 2 hours on fucking Saturdays? Like, fuck's sake. Is Lego Joker from 2017's movie? From the Batman Lego? I haven't seen the Lego Batman movie. Also, that's not true. Mark Hamill's Jokers are all pretty great. Bit connected. That's the joke. That's the joke, CG. You spoil something and you go spoilers, by the way. Here's the thing. I usually follow something along the lines of the 2-week rule, but mine's usually like the 2-month rule. You don't talk shit about a movie that just came out in the last 2 months. The Joker's been out since what? 2018? I haven't seen it. Like, fuck. Usually I do that, but like in these cases, like with the games like shit like this, like if I'm playing a game, or if someone vocalizes they intend to watch something, you do not spoil it for them. That's just etiquette. So like whenever I play these games like your Danganronpa or anything like that, and I'm like, don't spoil. I'm actively playing this game. That's a dick move if you spoil it for something that someone's currently enjoying. It's like with any TV show. Like if I'm watching fucking Mandalorian, even though I know it's been out for a year, I don't want you to spoil the ending for me because I'm watching it currently. If I intend to be like, I am going to watch this movie, don't spoil it, then you don't spoil it. But if it's like as far as like casual conversation or like quotes from shit like that, because I don't think it's that big of a quote or like a bit of a spoiler to be like, yeah, the Joker shoots a guy. That's the movie. For edgy fucking nerds. You spend an hour talking to this person. I mean, yeah, no, I do. I only play the game for like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Anyway.
Boy, there's one to bust on a sky. Please take the stand.
Give so many fake spoilers, person it's an actual spoiler. Yeah, like the time that Joker fucking sprouted wings. That was fucking nuts, right? Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with testimony in the sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course. The truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Remember, your testimony if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the one. You're the only chance we have to get. Fuck. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Get Gant. Good. Gant and the fabrication. That's my favorite
It's my favorite, Magic Treehouse book. Nailed it. Nailed the joke. Got it. I know how to be funny on the internet. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Peak comedy. I know. I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm the funniest person I know. That's not true in the slightest. That's not true in the fucking slightest. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana, it's all bullshit!
But if this is true, then that means Chief Gant had nothing to do with it.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. What if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself.
Your defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Chief Gant of the fabrication.
Ooh, Legend of the Hidden Temple. The Silver Monkeys.
Anyway. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why... I have to get back my theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. A little bit, CG. A little weird. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And? I mean, yeah, you did. That part's true. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. I mean, fair naps. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized by that day all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana.
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago?
When I found the crime scene... You say you did this all by yourself? Yes.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seemed I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. Except why would that be in his body if he was stabbed through the back with a spear? What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. Well, just to protect me.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes.
Oh, Drake, what?
Hang on.
Did you move the body?
But why? Why would you do that? Then move the body. Okay.
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Why did you plant the knife? Sure. Why would you do that? Or why did you do that?
Come now, Mr. Wright, even you should be able to figure it out.
Very well. Let's add this to the witness this morning. The reason this guy fabricated the knife.
Can I get the other one? Hang on. And then move the body? Yeah. Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Okay, add a detail, move the body. Okay. Okay, let's go this in order now. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound?
And then he moved the body.
Why? Why would you do that? Oh, wait, hang on. I already did that. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. Hang on. I don't remember. There's new things added, and I don't know what's going on. Okay, the reason Miss Sky moved the body. Okay.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the event threatened my plan.
Pieces of the jar? You mean...
Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
See.
What's the matter, Emma? No, that doesn't feel right.
Apparently the jar shattered at the same time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there is more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone.
Did someone huck the jar? Like, is that what happened? Hang on, let's see what this other one does. Why did you plant the knife? Okay. Oh man, so it switches out the one that gets added? Oh, that sucks. I'm already too stupid for this game. I can't handle it switching out testimonies. I'm too dumb for this game. I'm too dumb. I can't handle that. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right?
Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted.
Just the table it was on. I mean, sure, but like, okay. But it makes more sense for the picture that Emma drew. It looks like it was fucking chucked at someone. I don't know.
Would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body.
So you buried him inside the victim's stab wound?
Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did.
Okay, Phoenix didn't mention that there must be a contradiction there, so it must be that she moved the body? Maybe? I don't know. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact?
You're willing to risk the death sentence?
She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying!
Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. So, yeah, hang on. Phoenix mentioned... Fuck! I don't know.
I have no idea. I got nothing. I got nothing. I need some help here. I'm trying to think and focus and like really be like, I have a brain blast moment, but I got nothing. I have no idea what the contradiction is. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, it couldn't have been broken during the scuffle. Okay, so is it this one then? Hang on. Pieces of the jar. You mean, yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. Kind of like with the body. So when you first found the body, the jar was already, of course, a shadow piece. Okay. Yeah, it couldn't have been broken at that time. Okay, that makes sense. Thanks, Ayole. That, okay, yep. I guess, okay, yeah, we'll present the jar here. See what happens. Okay, cool. Cool. Thanks, Ayole. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
We need the fortune at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered.
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony.
Contradiction? In my testimony?
You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write this message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. That makes sense. I'm just dumb. I'm just dumb.
Order! Order!
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. Oh.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well. Witness may now continue her testimony.
Jar and message in blood. The sequel to Gant and the fabrication.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
Do you mean whether or wiped away the message in blood? Into a bang?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. That once may now begin as cross-examination.
Okay. Alright. Alright, what do you got? So the jar was already broken.
It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as this case.
Alright. Alright. Okay, Judge, okay. But not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have.
It was dark. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No. If I'd known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case. Great, yeah, wonderful. Thanks for admitting that.
Lana, you do that for me?
It seems you two might
Might make up yet. Fuck.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
Safe, I wiped blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were so large, I'm sure I got them all. But how could you see with that power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. Then how did... Hold on. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Pressure secretary is really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Okay, hang on, I need to press that last one, because I'm dumb. You know, so you illegally rearranged the crime scene? Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
Don't want this to leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. You're just really playing for a fight. I just care about you. There's one possibility around. Okay. It should be this, right? Cause she didn't get them all. Because part of it was found in Gaunt's safe. Right? I don't know. Hey, the music stopped. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gaunt's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation.
She's lying!
On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gaunt got there before you. Oh ho ho!
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
It may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along.
That tracks. That tracks. That really tracks.
How can you believe that?
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? You're old. When this scene arrived at this, when the witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, but
there's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I'm not implying this person was Chief Gaunt. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, something.
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Riddle me this, Your Honor.
No. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here.
Damon Gaunt arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called?
Fabrication of evidence. The rare judge breakdown.
But why would Chief Gaunt do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
Who's the best? Yeah, we're sending him to jail. I'm not going back to prison. I ain't going back to jail. Fucking love that vine.
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believes her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet. She's gonna turn into a Titan.
No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake.
No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients.
Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client.
I can introduce him the type who likes to twist the truth.
I am?
Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gaunt's trap?
Yeah, that was a hard bite.
It's something wrong, Mr. Wright.
It's like, God, it's like watching like Eren in Attack on Titan having to like bite his hand, or like some of the other Titans where they have like that ring that does like the fucking stabby bit. Like, oh, I hate watching it. Lana may be right after all.
Do you mean right?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Skye, please testify once more.
But
if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall.
Miss Skye, if you will.
I can't.
Stop. I can't even eat the gummy thumb candies that come out around Halloween. I can't eat that shit. I can't do it. It's too much for me. Like I get the ones that look like eyeballs or fingers or shit like that. I can't eat that.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
But what if we testify once more for the final time?
Actual crime scene. And we're gonna call it there. Heh. That's right. It's a cliffhanger, because this trial takes about 100 hours to complete. I'm gonna save 4 times, just to be safe, because I'm a paranoid little bitch. Alright, let's get the YouTube outro done. Thank you so much for watching, YouTube. If you liked it, make sure you click the like button down below and subscribe to keep up with my stuff. New videos at least every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm trying a new thing where I'm putting up shorts every day of the week, or every weekday, not on the weekends or anything like that. But yeah, I'm kind of trying a new thing. Seeing how it works, how it goes, see if it does anything for the channel. But anyway, if you liked it, make sure you click the like button and subscribe. And comment, what was your favorite part about all this? Was it Gaunt's testimony? Was it Lana's testimony? Was it finding out a 14-year-old girl murdered a prosecutor? Leave a comment and let me know. Let me know below what your favorite part was. And share it with your friends. If you have people who couldn't get into Ace Attorney, or they wanted to but didn't have the means to, or anything like that, show them this, and we can go on this wild and wacky ride together of bullshit legal processes. It's almost over. I gotta stop. I have chores to do. I gotta stop it here. Anyway, share it with your friends. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, YouTube. I hope you did, at least. Please stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, YouTube. Bye-bye now. Have a good one. Take care of yourself now. Happy trails.